Hope Channel, changing lives.
To hear their voice. Hello, lovely viewers. Another lovely time on Family Life. Your program, my program designed to support families, educate and inspire. It's another time and I have missed you all. I love you and I know you love Family Life too. And so this evening we are on your set coming to interact with you. Today we are going to have a very interactive session with you. Want you to contribute, you also contribute. And we have a very interesting topic to discuss with you. But before I introduce the topic, I want to introduce the people who will help me today for us to go through this lesson that we want to have with you. I'm your usual host, Mrs. Betty Adam, and I have two strong psychologists here. They are counselors. Also, they will mention their name for you to know who they are. I will begin from the man. I have one man and a woman. Pastor.
My name is Pastor Elijah Benyi, Associate District Pastor, Accra East District of SDA Church.
Great. And then, Madam.
I'm Mrs. Grace Saki, a counseling psychologist and a retired nurse midwife from the United Nations.
You are welcome, my guest.
Thank you.
How are you?
We are doing fine.
Fine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, by God's grace, yes.
Mommy, how are the grannies?
Oh, they are doing very well. And they are enjoying because COVID had kept other children away and they are still there with me.
How are you feeling it?
Oh, well, because of my grandchildren, I don't really feel it. And God being so good, my children say it's a business. So I still get some income.
Wow, so double business now.
Yeah.
Then you are not losing at all. Wow. And Pastor?
Yes, because we just opened our churches, it has not been easy.
Business usual.
Yes, business as usual. And this time, the sessions for my church are in 3.
Oh, okay.
So first session, second and third. And therefore, the workforce has increased. We need more hands, as the Sabbath school said.
The harvest.
The harvest.
So now you have to adjust yourself.
Yes, you have to adjust.
I think with time you will cope.
Yes, I believe so.
We are praying that very soon it will go and there will be fun. My dear viewers, we are here to discuss a topic that we in fact, it's difficult to talk about when it comes to Christian setting. But what can we do? We need to talk about it because research have made us understood that this very topic we are going to talk about 40% of breakages in marriages are as a result of this. And it's a topic that we called infidelity in marriage. And so before we go to our topic, we want to have a short break. We'll come back and then we'll go with you. Get your pen ready, get your paper ready, call your friend. And then if you have a family you love so much, call that family to listen to it. And above all, we need your contribution. We need your contribution. Whether you've had an experience before, you are planning to have an experience, or you know somebody you can share your view. Because people are planning. And if we know what you think, then we will also come in to support. And so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Southern Ghana Union Conference, Namid South Ghana Conference, Pioneer Ghana Conference, Southwest Ghana Conference, West Central Ghana Conference, Rekabom, Apau, Ayamemenda, Kwanfefu Juma, Watrona Efante Kasema, Onkan Sukra, Botaya Ode Jumedido say, Hymns for Mission and Service. Date, Mid South Ghana Conference, Bado, September 5th, 2020, Cape Coast Central STA Church, West Central Ghana Conference, Bado, September 19, 2020, Wawuni Valley Central STA Church, Pioneer Ghana Conference in Bado, September 26, 2020, Wawuniba Central STA Church, Southwest Ghana Conference in Bado, October 3rd, 2020, Watakradi Central STA Church. AM Penifo ya tonsa from Obo Bajumedia Sibinye Southern Ghana Union Conference officers, Pastor M.A. Bediako, Southern Ghana Union Conference Music Director. Eye officers are what conferences mu ena bejoku a wo ye fanti himbuki hu dwumadi nyinara. Time 9 o'clock a.m. Our conferences are yabubodi nyinara do. Yeto nsafre akwafo singing banfo ena nyumtukufo a waka nyinara na asorembe nyinara de. Wombra meka ye ho nta dwumadi yechi na yenti mfa nhyɛ Nyankopɔn ni din animonyam.
Hi, my dear, you are welcome. In fact, we thank you so much for staying with us. As we said, we are going to have a discussion on infidelity. And as I said earlier on, it's something difficult to talk about in Christian setting. You know, we are all Christians, but we don't want to deceive ourselves. A lot of things are happening, and we can't just say we will not talk about it. We need to talk about it. And so today we are opening up the discussion. You will be called. You have the opportunity to call in. You can test your messages. And as I said, one, if you have an experience you want to share, you can share. If you are planning to have an experience, you can also share for us to know and see how best we can support. If you know somebody who is addicted to it, you can also share, and let's see how best we can support. So we are here with you this evening, and I want you to enjoy yourself. Just contribute and call a friend. So we'll go through our guests for them to tell us what they really know about infidelity in marriage. Pastor, I will start with you.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's a very difficult topic, very complex, because it has been part of human life for long.
Okay.
And the dynamics are changing as we move on. Initially, it looks like the traditional way. Somebody has married and has seen another woman or man. But these days, because of technology, things are changing.
Okay.
So it became very difficult. So when we talk of infidelity, normally we say unfaithfulness in marriage.
Okay.
That is the terms I want us to understand.
Okay.
Or cheating.
So the basis.
The basis.
The common
yeah,
one we can use to describe.
So, or somebody has stepped out of the marriage and now having an affair that looks similar to that of the marriage, but to another partner who is not the husband or wife.
Okay.
So when we talk of infidelity, it's being unfaithful or having extramarital affair outside your marriage relationship.
Okay.
That is what I would say for now.
Okay. Mommy?
I think I can't say anything different from what he's saying, because that is what it is.
Okay.
Yes. If you are unfaithful to the moral obligations that you have made to your partner or your spouse, then you are committing infidelity.
Yeah.
Or like he said, when you are having an affair with somebody who is not culturally married or legally married to you, then know for sure that you are committing adultery of infidelity. And like he's saying, this time things are different. So it is not just the physical relationship that people will have that we can tell, but sometimes it is a fact, because I mean, to mention maybe cyber, and when we say cyber, we are talking about the social media, texting, we are talking about phone. So it's people can actually flirt on that, but formally it's just physical that or emotional. But now we are graduating from the emotional to the cyber.
So we now have various forms of infidelity.
Yes, there are many.
Please, let's mention some.
There are many, but as I said, it's a whole lot of topic.
Okay.
The topic is broad. We have the physical, that is physical infidelity, where there is sexual contact between the two.
Okay.
Okay, the person you are having sex with is not your husband or wife.
Okay.
That is physical. Okay, then the emotional, where you are attached to somebody, you feel living around, staying around with the person, talking long on phone with the person, but the person is not your husband, it's not your wife.
Pastor, understand. I'm talking long.
But there is an emotional attachment.
How emotional should it be?
You do everything that you're supposed to do in your marriage with this person.
On phone,
On
by
phone.
just talking.
Talking. At times, you want to be in the company of the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sneak out from the house. You need to hang around, have some drink outside. You say, I'm going on a date or something. You just want to go. Maybe it is lunchtime at your workplace, and then you are out with the person. You socialize, you come back. You see that you are spending much time. That is what the problem is.
Okay.
Time that you need to spend with your wife or husband is being spent on this particular person.
Yes.
Even though there is no sexual contact, it's an emotional affair. There is an attachment.
Okay.
You wish to be with the person. That is two. And then the third one Madam mentioned was the cyber sex. You know, because of technology, things have changed. Today, we have where people will take their phones and then they can do anything. People go as far as watching the other partner on webcam and then masturbate. You see it. In
Meanwhile,
all
the
these,
person is married.
Yeah, he's married.
Okay.
And a lot of people do that. There are a whole lot of documents about that. Though it is new because of technology, but it is happening. People do that. People now go to the internet and flirt. It is there. Okay? But people are of the view that because it is not physical, it is not bad. But we've forgotten that it is taking the time and the energy spent on our marriages onto that side.
Okay.
Okay, and moreover, the activities that goes on there are morally bad. Okay, if you are watching a picture of somebody in a video and you are masturbating, okay, you are flirting, you are looking at a woman who is not your husband and you expose yourself, your nakedness, you see how it is.
Okay.
And the serious aspect of this is that because it is on social media, the privacy between the two people, they feel that they are secured. Because I can open up. Because you are with the person on the screenshot or whatever and the video, and nobody is there. So you can choose to do anything. So these three aspects are serious, and they are now disturbing, shaking their marriages and then their family systems, because any of them has an attachment, and it comes with an issue. So in the emotional, you see that people use the text messages, the phones in the midnight, they make so much calls in the night. And then you see all these things. And then lastly, one thing I want to talk about is that you realize that these affairs are having activities surrounding them.
Okay.
You see that the appearance of people begin to change. They dress differently.
Okay.
Okay. The work habit. At first, he comes home or she comes home quickly or early from work. But this time, it takes some time. Anytime you ask, you see some excuses. Oh, my boss has given me another work to do, and because of that, today I cannot come early. You see it? Things are changing. And then you see that there is some secrecy, especially people buy new phones and they're hiding it somewhere.
Okay.
Anytime they want to pick calls and you are around, you see that it looks like they are not comfortable. You see changes.
Okay.
Even their eating habit changes.
We will talk about, but I want to first ask this question. You were talking about emotional attachment.
Yeah.
We are not flirting on the phone, all right, but we are exchanging nude pictures. You are talking about sexual, hey, you are so nice, you are beautiful, those kind of conversation, even though it is not the flirting aspect that you are talking about, but the conversation, the way we talk, the way I praise you, the way we talk about, let me say, filthy, can that also be part? Can we say that one too is infidelity? Or that one?
You see, they are part of the activities.
Okay.
And what we are saying is that things that you do with any other person outside your home. You see, all people go as far as disclosing private issues in their home to those people whom they attach. It happens. And again, you see that the time you need to spend on your family with your wife or husband, somebody has now come in. Now you have a third party who is taking that happiness away from the marriage.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Let me go to Mommy. Mommy, what do you think here?
I think, like we said, as for the physical, we all know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the emotional and the cyber infidelity is what is happening now. And the question is emotional feelings. So the way you ought to feel towards your partner or your spouse, the way you ought to treat, because feeling comes with some actions, the way you need to treat the person, like you said, the way you need to spend quality time. You are always with that person. You are always close to that person. When we go out, you are sitting with that person. Even in church, it's that person. You see? So you realize that everything that, like Pastor says, is supposed to happen in the marriage is happening to another person. I mean, the two of you know that we are getting close enough. Well, unless you are involved, then maybe you can. But you see, I'm sure up to a point you realize that no, I'm getting to like Auntie Betty. I'm getting to like the way she carries herself. I'm going to. So gradually, you realize that you are stepping in another direction. And then now we are being aided by technology. So, oh, what are you doing now? Oh, I'm just about to sleep. Oh, I just taking my bath. Every little thing. Meanwhile, the person with whom you are in the house may not have that advantage. And you know that this is not right.
Okay.
You understand? So we are doing a lot of emotional and a lot of cyber infidelity now.
Okay. Okay.
The thing is, we owe our lives to God, and that is what we must do.
Okay. So let me ask, what are some of the things that trigger these behaviors?
They are numerous, but we will just try to mention a few.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start from the unknown.
Okay.
Because at least we know that communication, but I want to start from the unknown. Because if you look at Psalm 53 verse 1, it says the fool says in his heart, there is no God. You see? And so if you don't have that God factor in you, so we should be questioning ourselves if we are involved in it. That do I have the God factor? If you don't have the God factor, anything goes.
Okay.
Two, the fear of God. If you fear God, there are things that may get to your doorsteps, like Abel was told that sin is at your door. It may be there, but because of the fear of God, you will not do it. Again, there may be things like communication, like I said. The communication between the spouses are not correct.
Okay.
And so you find time talking to the other partner, you find a listening ear, the quality time. The person has time for you. He listens to you. He helps you in doing things. Oh, you want to run an errand? Off. You know, apart from that, gifts and other things. See, so sometimes the love languages that we ought to show to our partners are shown to the other people who are not married to us. And therefore, it helps us to commit. Then when there's also lack of the presence of the Holy Spirit within us, when we don't value holiness, we will be able to do things like that. But when we value holiness and we value and accept the commandments that God has given us, because in it He has stated categorically that we should not do that. Okay. See, so these are some, not all. I know. I leave some for Pastor too.
Before Pastor, you say, I want to ask you this question. Mommy talked about a situation where there is no quality time in the house, no communication, and I'm burning out, and I have somebody who will listen to me. Do I need to burn out because when I talk to another person, I will be engaging in infidelity?
You see, in marriage, nothing is secret.
Okay.
If you are burning out, it means that the man is doing something that you don't like.
Okay.
And that is affecting you emotionally. So what do? You talk about it. You engage the person because the person is your husband. The problem is that we don't engage. We call it conflict avoidance. We don't want to involve ourselves in conflict. So what I'll do is that I will not talk about it, but I'll seek happiness outside the marriage. And that brings a problem.
Okay.
So what you do is that where there is poor communication. What we need to do is that we engage the people who are hurting us. That's the first step we need to take. We need not to say that I won't talk about it, I'll wait, but I'll go outside and take a friend. No, that's not the best. You engage your husband, you engage your wife, and say that, look, these things are happening. These days, the time you have with me, I don't see it. What is happening? The person will give reasons, and you talk about it. When it fails from there, you have a counselor. If in case you've married, and you have gone through the counseling before marriage, you consult the counselor and tell the counselor, because the counselor knows the two of you. Or you have a trusted pastor in your church or outside somewhere that you think the person can help you out. And that is how it should be. You don't say that because the person is showing these signs, therefore I want to take a decision and go out. It will create a problem. Before then, I want us to look at some of these things that I term it the individual risk factors. Okay. There are factors that normally may cause us to go that line. The first one is addiction. And people who are addicted to drugs, and people who are addicted to, let's say, alcohol, gambling. The risk factor for these people to indulge in extra premarital activities are high. Okay. Very, very high. People who indulge themselves or use drugs. And then we have exposure. We have people who are exposed to sex. Very, very, very. Because as they were growing, they might have been in several relationships. And in all these relationships, they might have experienced sex in one way or the other. Okay. So in terms of their knowledge and experience in sex, they are higher than maybe the husband or the wife. Okay, so when they meet like that and the other party is not able to satisfy what the other person already knows, what happens? It creates a problem. And then we have people also who are sex addicts. Okay. Yes, because they have practiced so many things, they are addicted to sex. That means, in simple terms, they like sex.
Madam Catherine,
they want to do it frequently.
Morning, afternoon.
And because they want to do it, maybe your husband cannot cope with that. At least.
Or the wife cannot.
The wife cannot cope.
It's not.
Maybe at times it happens. Maybe at times the woman needs it more. No, but the man cannot.
The man needs it more. So vice versa.
So that is individual risk factors. When it happens that way, it creates a problem. And then childhood trauma. People who abuse when they were young. Emotionally,
abuse physically, in terms sexually. Okay.
Yes. People who abuse sexually, that trauma they carry also put them in that situation. And then we have the primary, the secondary is where there is no happiness in the marriage. There is no satisfaction. You know, when we talk about sex, it's a drive that we need to fulfill. But at times we think that sex is just to trust in and do it and go. But the quality aspect of it, you see, you are smiling. The quality aspect of it. So when it happens that at first, the man or the woman, in terms of quality of sex, we are social beings. You see, it is different from you are from church and you are in the house. So I want to plead, my dear pastors, please, we have a lot of work. But when it is time for us to have time for our wives and really, really enjoy our wives, we should put the Sabbath schools and the Bibles aside. And do what we're supposed to do. If you are a boss in a workplace,
but the Sabbath school teaches you spirituality. You'll be strong.
No. When it comes to fulfillment in the marriage at that night, the Sabbath school is not needed. We need to be honest. Okay, so let us do that, and then we should stop nagging. Okay. You see, the moment we begin to complain about the little things our partners do, you see, they lose some kind of respect and trust and happiness in their marriage. And therefore, when we avoid some of these things, it will help us.
Bobby, let's talk about people who are really at risk. In fact, we couldn't exhaust much of the contributing factors, but I think what we have said is somehow enough. But who are those who are predisposed, the risk people, the people who are at risk?
everybody is. Everybody is predisposed, and everybody, because we should remember that we are all human beings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like he said, we all have a sexual need. We need it. It's God created, so we need it. And therefore, like he said, if there are problems in our relationship, then it becomes a breeding ground for one spouse to go out. But again, we just want to caution that there is somebody we are accountable to. And therefore, we need to solve problems as they come in our marriages. We should learn a proper way of conflict resolution in our homes. And when we do that, it will help us. And then we are married, so we should be able to talk about sex. If it's not going well with me, I should be able to say, my dear, today it didn't go well with me. And so
won't you be tagged as a bad person in the marriage?
yeah, we are growing.
Why bad?
We are growing. The world is changing. And the world is changing.
I'm coming. Pastor was saying why bad. You see that?
That has been a problem with us, and that is where we have all these challenges.
Yes.
Crashing the home, and the church is affected.
Okay.
And the church is affected. And I tell you that the kind of marriage problems we have in the church, every church, you have it. Why is it so? Because we are not able to talk about issues in the marriage. For a woman to request for sex becomes a problem because she can't. The husband would think that she is bad, or maybe she might have experienced it somewhere.
Yes.
And you are now bringing it here. Why is it that a man can request for sex and tell the woman to do any style he wants, and a woman cannot do that? That is the problem. So far as the two adults have come together, it means we are matured. And therefore we can do anything. What is more private than to show your nakedness to a man? And you cannot talk about your problem. Okay, so let's be realistic. And it is affecting our children also. The slightest they ask a question about it, we shut them down. And because people are not able to voice out and talk about things that disturbs in the marriage, we need to find a fulfillment outside. And that is where we are now today. So let us be honest and talk about it. If your husband is doing something you don't like, today, I was telling somebody that look at these phones. We have smartphones. Even if we have young people who don't know what sex means, physically they've not had sex, they might have read about it.
Yes.
Okay? So people who are adult 25, 30 years who have never had sex and they are virgins have read about sex. They know what it means, even though they've not experienced it. They are listening to radio, they are watching TV programs, they go to the net and they read. So everybody is a potential person who knows what sex means. So if it happened that you marry the person, you want the person to be there, as if the person is just a novice, then we are making a mistake. We should be able to talk about it. That is why we talk about communication. That is poor aspect of communication. When something is affecting you and you are not able to talk about it. So whom are you going to talk to? God?
I will pray.
No.
You see, somebody says, I will pray. Maybe God will come in and change. But maybe before you come in, we will go for our quick break. Viewers, we want to just turn around and then come back. It's becoming interesting. But indeed, it's an issue that we need to discuss. Seriously, some people cannot say, not some people, some women can't say today you didn't satisfy me. We can't say it because we feel that when we say it, hey, you say maybe I've experienced it somewhere, or you pretending to be a virgin, not knowing you are not. Look at what you are telling me, and because of that, we hide our emotions. That is what Pastor is saying. We'll be back very soon, so continue to enjoy us. Don't go away.
Let's pray.
We are praying together with you, and so send a praise report. What is it that the Lord has done for you?
What I will cry, Yankopon Ashadie, ne Yesu Christo Jidim.
I want Yankopon Femono. ansa bibi be ye adwuma no agye nimpa no de ne kura mewurade
Sir.
ya na nimpa ya adwen ye ense e betumi aye no gengen bia
na che se fi ade bon fiti ya se fi edi no Yakopon ni nipa wa pam enye se o de ma Israelfo na emomo ni nipa nkasa wa pam.
I'm calling to pray for my family members who are outside the nation and those who are in the nation.
Let's pray. Showing this on every Friday at 6:30 p.m.
If you want your business to be very successful, to reach or to have the international flavor, or to transcend to your children and to your children's children and your children's children's children, the best thing to do is to bring in partnership.
You don't need money at all to be innovative.
Right.
But I'm not going to say you don't need money to start a business. A lot of people always think that yes, you need money, but even the way you go about even accessing the funds can find a solution in innovation.
Doing business is about taking risk, and risk involves fear.
Okay.
Because you can never tell the end from the beginning, but you still have to do something.
If you spend out of your sales, you run a risk of not accounting for your sales. You may not know exactly how much you have sold and how much you have spent because you are mixing them up.
Meet our subject matter experts every evening on this channel, where we bring your way the Hope Business Forum version 2.0.
Hope Business Forum, Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Thank you for staying with us. When we're going, it was so interesting. If you are now joining us, we are on Family Life and we are discussing infidelity in marriage. I'm your host, Mrs. Betty Adom, and I have with me here Pastor Benny, who is a district pastor for Accra East. And then we have Madam Grace, who is also a counselor and then a midwife, a retired midwife. They are here to share their experiences with us. In fact, we've talked a lot. We've spoken a lot about how infidelity is causing us, how we can get rid of it is what we are about to talk about. Those who are at risk, the vulnerable groups, and then who suffer most. That is where we are now about to talk about. So if you have your question, you can text us or you can call for us to know what you're also thinking about the topic. So before we come in, we want to go to Pastor for us to, Pastor, who are those, the vulnerable group?
Yes,
and those who suffer most, let me say that.
Yes, for the vulnerable groups, there are many, especially people who are prone to infidelity.
Okay.
So if you are listening to us, if you are a young man married, or a woman, a young lady, or any person, and you try to always visit sexual open websites to watch those pornographic materials, you are vulnerable.
Okay.
The possibility of you engaging some of this, either emotional or the cyber sex, is high. Either emotional or cyber sex is high. Then we also have those with history of anxiety and depression. They are also prone to this kind of, because of the emotional aspect attached to it. And then we have people who use drugs and alcohol. As I've said, they are also vulnerable. They are prone to having infidelity outside their marriage. And then we have people who have multiple partners previously, before coming in. That is where I will say that when you are about to marry, you make sure that all the previous relationships you must have had at that time, or you are in, you terminate them properly. And then you make sure that you will not go back to those relationships. And I want to add, I've observed and I've seen that at times in the counseling session, when young people are about to marry, the issue of us dealing with the individual sitting before us to ascertain their past relationships. We normally don't do that very well.
Okay.
Not all people do that, but most at times we don't deal with such issues.
Because it's very complicated and no one wants to
Yes,
talk about it.
you should know the individual sitting there, ask them to know whether they have terminated the previous relationships. Now they are entering into married relationship, and that one is different from the previous ones, and therefore it must be properly terminated. Else, this old firewood thing, before you realize one day, when the other partner in the marriage is not happy, then he remembers that Kofi is around or Ya is around. Okay, then I can go there to enjoy myself. After all, she's still there. So we should be careful and make sure.
Goes, you'll be welcomed.
Yes, you'll be welcomed. It doesn't matter the person is married. So these things we need to check.
Especially when that relationship was so sweet.
Yes, was so sweet. And maybe it is the first relationship of the woman. And it's the young man who has broken the virginity of the woman. So you can see that there's an attachment already. And therefore we should go in and make sure that all these things are properly terminated.
At times, even when they love each other and the family says we will not allow you
they want to die. They want to kill themselves. They want to commit suicide because, you know, the bond and attachment is serious. And then another group that is vulnerable is when you have family. The family origin where infidelity is prevalent. Okay. People will say genetic or biological.
Down.
Yes, it affects that. Because, and children who have observed, who are grown enough to observe how infidelity has run through their family, and they've seen it all, also grow up, and most of them. So it doesn't mean that when you are not in one, you cannot be in two. You understand?
Yes.
And the fact that somebody is not doing it doesn't mean that it is not occurring.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? So at times when somebody is not in that category, maybe you are from a family of infidelity and you are not doing it, you think that it is not true. But research has shown that people from that line are also prone. And it happens.
Least mistake.
Yes.
A little disturbance in the marriage.
They go out.
Will trigger.
Yeah, it will trigger
action.
it. It's very serious.
Okay. So in this case, in the marriage, who suffers a lot? The wife, the children, or the father, or the one who is in the infidelity act?
I think that it's in the event where there are children, the children suffer the most, and even the unborn generation. Why are we saying that? We are saying that because in the minds of the children, a dysfunctional family is created. And so they will grow up either to frown or to reject getting married. Or they may even become perpetuators of the same thing. Or for them, infidelity becomes a norm, because that is what they are saying. Oh, my grandfather married for my auntie and this. So it affects children. Again, it may affect their education and their career, because daddy or mommy is spending all the money outside on another person. And you know, infidelity causes distraction to us. Because if you look at Proverbs chapter 6 from verse 23 down, you realize that it can even reduce a man to a piece of bread. And when I saw it, I said, wow.
That is serious.
I said, wow. For
That's
Bible
serious.
to say that thing will reduce you to a piece of bread,
you are nothing.
is something to think about.
It's
and
serious.
So you realize people, it happens. Their father or their mother did it, and it has affected them. They grow up, and by the time you are aware, they are doing the same thing. And for them, there is nothing wrong with it. And so it affects children very, very, very well. In the unborn generation, because you may not have met your great-grandfather, but that attitude, you will grow up, and if you don't come to Christ for him to save you and for the Spirit of God to indwell in you, you go back and you grow up and begin to do the same thing. So we should be very careful about that.
And what are the impacts on those who are in the act?
You see,
does it really affect them?
Yes, it affects them. It affects them. The thing is that when they realize that what they were doing or they are doing is wrong, it affects them. Because one, the trust in the marriage is broken.
Yes.
There is no trust. Okay? And it leaves three things. Three questions come to mind when infidelity occurs.
Okay.
The first question that comes to mind is seeking divorce. The first question that comes to mind is seeking divorce. Okay? The second question that comes to mind is either you remain silent or not mending the relationship. It's not easy. So the other person who is in it, one, the guilt aspect of it.
Yes.
Because the person is committing it, the guilt and shame. Would you imagine you are a pastor or a church elder of that repute in your church, and these things comes out? The shame and the guilt. Okay, so people even through that commit suicide.
Wow.
Yes, they can't stand it.
Pastor, there are some questions that we need to address. We have a lot of questions here. And so, my dear viewers, before we continue with our discussion, we want to address your question one by one and see how best we can support each other in this era. Okay, please, Pastor, what if you engage him, yet he is still doing that? You know, we mentioned about communication.
Okay.
That the person is doing this or that, so engage the person in communication. When you engage the person and still he is doing it.
One thing I want to stress on is this. Before you engage a partner for causing infidelity, you must have your evidence. Very, very important. In fact, I want to say that many a times we are basing our facts on speculations and perceptions and attitudinal change. You must gather your evidence. If the evidence is clear and you confront the person and the person is still doing it, you seek professional help. Because at that point in time, it's beyond your level. That's why I said earlier on, either you go to your counselor or you look for a pastor that the two of you trust, and then you go and tell the person to help you out. You seek professional help.
Another question. I'm finding harder and harder to communicate with my husband. When we communicate, it always ends up in an argument. Please help me to find ways to reach him. I find we don't understand each other. I think we don't understand each other. So,
yeah, the challenge is this. You see, many people, our challenge has also been how to communicate.
Yes.
And communication, at times we think that is a talking. I'm talking to madam, and therefore she must understand what I'm saying. No. I communicate a message. She should be able to understand what I'm saying. If she refuses to listen, how can she understand? And therefore, the two people, they need counseling where they will take them through how to communicate.
So I think,
and that will solve their problem.
We need to plan on how to communicate in marriage, because it's very, very
key.
Even though it's not part of this, we want to just
it's very important.
We will come to that.
It's very important.
I say, Mama, this topic is really for me. I have been crying since afternoon. I'm going through this situation. I'm doing everything a wife should do. I give him my everything, money, sex, attention, loving, name it, but still, today I wrote something small to catch his attention, and what he replied me on status truly killed my spirit. Please help me in prayers. My dear, we will help you. And Pastor is also here to give. Pastor.
You see that the issues are coming. You see, it's a high time.
I think Mommy come in first, and then Madam Grace come in, and then Pastor will add the prayer access to it.
We need to begin to look at some of these issues by bringing professionals to educate the members and all of us about these kind of things.
Good.
Because things are changing.
Okay.
At times, we need to also diversify, make sure that we bring cancer. All the issues that they are saying needs professional.
My question here, let me dwell on this question. Must you do everything in order to please somebody? Because when it happens like that, you lose yourself.
You can't do all.
But I think If the person is not acting outside the expectations of a wife, fine. You know, well, I'm sure it's the lady who
yes,
wrote it.
because
So
she said that she is doing everything that she can. A woman
Maybe
should
that's
do.
not what the husband
but still, the husband doesn't pay. Yes. So
love language. We spoke about love language. So what is the love language of the man? Is she fulfilling those needs? If she's not fulfilling those needs, then she must find out why. I'm sure she will know.
Okay.
Except she's suspecting that the man is having an affair. And therefore, if you have started having the affair, you still need to work more that which is right that you are doing. And then we should not forget about the spiritual aspect. Because I think I've said it here before, that even now psychologists are looking at what the long word, we say biopsychosocial, with an S at the end, meaning that they are recognizing and giving the fact that spiritual aspect of a human being is very necessary. So we'll tell the young lady that she should pray also more.
But Pastor, don't you think that the more you push, the more you do, like you push yourself on somebody, that also comes because you are giving money, you are giving sex, you are giving attention. So wouldn't it be that you, the woman, is rather...
Is it there are things we can't finish saying here.
Okay.
You realize that each and every one has a need.
Okay.
And if you don't know my need, you think that what you are doing is what I need, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a need that this man wants from their wife, but he's not getting it. Okay. The wife thought that sex is his need. There are some men that is not their problem. They don't need it like that. I mean, money is the need. That's why I'm saying that he should seek professional help. As far as she continues to pray, she should seek professional help where a therapist will engage the man, and then the man will tell actually what he wants. Until that, she will kill herself.
Okay.
We should identify what the man wants. That will solve the problem. If you don't identify it, all the things you do don't matter.
That you do, it will matter.
So look for, unless a professional engage the person, it will not. It will not. You won't get it.
Wow. Okay, so he's saying that. I also think another risk factor for this. Okay, so he is giving. Is distance. Is distance?
Yeah, it is there. Distance. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We call it opportunities. Opportunities are where the partners, because of work, one person travels a lot, or because of, let's say, work, the person has traveled, is now in US or one country, leaving the other partner here for many years. And some people say, body no be for your wood, is that not it? How can a woman or a man stay for 5, 6, 7 years without seeing the wife, without having sex with the wife? And because sex is a drive and he needs to fulfill it, definitely, he has to go out somewhere and do it. So what she's saying, or the person is saying, is true. And we need, at times when you say it, your mouth is heavy. But we need to discourage some of these things. That before people engage in, if you want your wife or husband, take the person, the moment you finish your marriage, and then travel.
Okay.
Then you are okay. Then to allow the person to live or stay in Ghana, and then you are nowhere to be found.
Serious.
Whilst you are fulfilling your sexual needs somewhere.
The woman
and
is also
the woman is here dying, or the man is here suffering. It's serious. So we should be bold enough to say it.
Adam from Yendi is asking this question: how long should a man last in bed with a wife? Adam, we will treat sex itself over here. So this one, keep it for us. But
Adams.
Adam.
Okay.
But the point is a situation where someone is not satisfied. I think he's coming from that point. When you are not satisfied, always not satisfied in bed, it can lead to this infidelity because you are going out to look for satisfaction elsewhere.
Yeah, because the path of a man, the moment a man is not fulfilled, especially you deny your husband sex, it is, the man takes it that he is not loved.
Okay.
Take note of this. You see, we are complex, and you women are more complex. But it seems that you look at a man and you think that it is the fufu and the food we like, that is all. No. So the moment the man, that's why earlier we are saying that when somebody is having much experience in the act, in terms of his sexual orientation, he has a lot of women he has met, or the woman or whatever, and then you are here, you are not giving what he is expecting. There is a problem.
No, so it really tells us that before we really marry, we need to do a lot of background check to know who exactly we are going to marry. Because
but you won't see,
yes, but
when
it comes to sex,
here is the case.
When it comes to say whether he can perform in bed or she can perform in bed,
you can't.
But it's also one reason why we have a lot of challenges in marriages. But people are not able to front that as the first thing. But I tell you, majority of people, sex is number one before the other things will follow. I mean, there are people who will not have had an experience, but realize that it's a desire that needs to be filled, and you realize that you are not getting there. You see, but that's what I started earlier on by saying that we should be able to discuss our sexual problems with our partners. After all, sex is supposed to happen only in marriage.
Yes.
And I always tell people, why did the man marry you? Is it that the mother cannot cook? Is it that the sister cannot cook for him?
But
is
mommy,
it that they cannot
mommy,
wash?
We are not sex machines.
You listen to what I say. Or is it that they cannot wash or do?
Yes.
There's only one thing that nobody can do for a man or a woman than the spouse. It's only one thing. So for me, and I always say, I say, the pastor should let us know that sex is what would differentiate between you and any other person. And therefore, like you are saying, we should not deny. That's why the Bible says we should not deny ourselves.
Okay.
And it must be done properly too.
Quality one.
Yes.
So I will come to, there is a question here. It's saying that good evening to you all. I'm really enjoying the program. My husband had multiple sex partners. And we have been experiencing a lot of problems since we got married because I was a virgin. Okay. He now has sex talks with other females to satisfy himself because he says he is not getting enough sex as he's used to. Please help me.
He's sex addict.
Serious.
He's sex addict.
Like you said,
yes.
A professional.
Yeah, he's a sex addict.
You need a professional.
And you see, that's why I always go back to say that some of these issues, you need the person involved to go through counseling, to be able to help the person to come out from these weaknesses. Because the wife cannot go. Again, it is two-way affair. The lady who says she's a virgin, I tell you, she can also learn certain basic tricks, okay, to be able to support the husband. Is that not it?
Yeah.
Yes, because sex is done by two people. Okay, if the other person is doing it and one person is not coping, the activities will not go as it's supposed to go.
And Pastor, so, the issue is, as a virgin, you know, she might not know styles, she might not know what to even do to help the man.
So that's
why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that. When you go, you see, one challenge I have seen is that outside Ghana, people do.
Okay.
After their marriage, for some time, they go for counseling again to see the way things are, renew certain things that so many years they have gone through, and then their marriage begins to move. But here in a part of Africa, how many of us go? Yeah, once we are married, they do us.
We don't even celebrate our anniversary.
So people like this, the two of them need to go to the counseling, and then they will help the man out from the problem, and then the woman will also learn new tricks to
Pastor,
support.
our time is getting closer. Let me add this so that we add more to it. Sorry, mommy. So she's saying that, good evening. I'm really enjoying the program. My husband, no, this one. I'm really enjoying the program. God richly bless you. My question, if my partner didn't request sex and I request, she normally think I'm worrying her. What should I do to her? America. The partner is not requesting.
Earlier on, we were saying that, what were we saying? My mind has stripped.
The lady.
The virgin. You see, in counseling, we have referral.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, like Pastor said, they should go to their counselor. And you, the counselor, if you don't have
the knowledge
and skill in sex counseling, you need to refer to a sex counselor. And I think our church, I don't have his permission, but I'll mention it. Pastor Sampa is very good. I have listened to him. He has come to give a lecture at our branch home and family week we had. And he did a very good presentation on sex. Okay. And so if we want within the church, fine. Even outside the church, there are people. But we as counselors and we, excuse me, the pastors should also know where their limits are. If you are not a sex counselor and your people are having problems in sex counseling, you don't use your experience to teach them.
Refer.
Somebody has learned about it. Like he said, let's use the professionals. So, Pastor Sampa, I'm giving him more work. Sorry for that.
So
Pastor, the one who asks
for. The partner doesn't request. If I request, you are worrying me too much. So what will he do? But how often does he request? That is how
that is it.
We don't know the basis of
the basis of the request. Maybe his request is too. It is something that is too frequent, and it disturbs the other partner. There are people that are men, they don't want frequent sex.
But this is a man who is complaining.
The man is saying that the woman will not request.
Don't take it that every man likes sex frequently.
No,
you understand?
No, the woman. The man is saying that the woman will not request. Okay. But if the man requests, he says he's worrying, he's worrying.
So the man always requests.
But the woman will not request. You come in.
Pastor, I think that is where good counseling comes in.
Yeah.
Because during counseling, we should do a good sex education.
Yeah.
Here again, if you think that you are shy or even as a counselor, it's not an area where you are comfortable with, you need to refer.
Hey, madam, must we always go to counseling? Can't we together sit down and say, no, today we need to sit and talk? There must be a time that couples must find time and say, as for today, we are dedicating for our problems. Yeah. Let's talk.
Betty, Pastor said this, and I think it's in Proverbs that the way of the eagle is in the air.
Okay.
And the way of the snake is on the rocks. But the way of a man is with a virgin. In the Bible.
It's on the woman.
And you see, when you learn about the anatomy of the human beings, it helps. Sperms are produced every day with a man. Every blessed day. And what else? Which channel will sperms come out? Which other channel? It is only one way than through the wife. And so that is why I'm saying that they need to be cancelled. That, madam, yes, you may be complaining, but remember that your husband, God himself, creates so much sperms every day within him. He cannot dispose it anywhere except he lies with you. And so you must also, it's a conditioning of the mind. Also condition your mind to meet him halfway. We are not saying every day. Nobody can stand. But that is where what you are saying comes in. Then you sit down. But if the person doesn't know, and he goes to sit down.
So I want to
add that because of the way you even ask for it, at times turns people off.
Very good.
You see, the woman is sleeping. You have not prepared her. Then all of a sudden you jump, you want to do it. No, sex starts early in the early part of the day. Before you part for work, something should happen. You know, there are tricks. We don't do it.
We'll let you come and teach us the tricks we will talk about.
You see,
but we want
so
to
tell the young man, let him know that, please, my brother, if you request sex from your wife at the midnight, when the woman was tired or maybe was asleep, and you want to wake her up and do it, that is a challenge.
Or help her to do her work in the evening.
So we have ways of dragging it gradually, then you get there.
We will talk about sex itself, but we want to wrap up. There is this that we didn't talk about. I want us to just quickly, just second. I want to find out when somebody is in the act, what should be our attitude towards the person? The one who is in the act. If you are a woman, what should be your attitude? Must you always quarrel with the person? What should be the attitude? Quickly, one from each other.
Yeah, we need not to fight with the person. We need to the love we have for them, we should continue and make sure that we engage them by talking and expressing the hurt, the emotional aspect of us. When it goes beyond and you have your evidence, you seek professionals to come in and support. The moment you begin to fight with the person, then you mean that the marriage and the person is going, the person will not come back again. Already something is chasing him or her, and when you are now facilitating that push, it will not happen. We need to talk. We need to sit. We need to seek help so that it will help all of us.
Madam Grace.
We must know that the offender is a human being, prone to sin. You must also remember you are a human being, and so you need to have mercy and forgive. Give the person a second chance. And also, you need to go after the thief because he has stolen your covenant property. Like David did. He went after the lion, he went after the bear. And we should know that divorce is not a solution. And also, the fact that we don't use that which the person has done as a trump card. Any small thing, then you start to, and don't reject that individual. Don't reject that. They need more love to bring them back on course. And you pray that God will help restore the trust you have in that person. And that is the most difficult part.
That's difficult.
Like, I remember one woman said, I went and I met him. I told him, oh, sorry, you've lost your house. I didn't know, you don't know. Come, let's go home. Then he took the husband straight to the house. He didn't quarrel. She didn't quarrel with the wife or the other partner.
Very, very
At times you ask, can we go and visit her? And then the man will be, through that he was able to redeem her marriage. At times too, we need to pray.
We need to pray.
We need to pray. Because,
and also take a step further.
Some of them have spiritual connotation.
We need to pray.
So we need to pray. So, my dear viewers, we are so grateful for you staying with us. All that we are asking is that let's wrap ourselves in the authority of Christ. That is the only sure hope that we'll be able to overcome. Without that, we cannot. Everybody is at risk. And so with the love of Christ in our hearts, the hope of glory will be able to overcome all challenges that may come on our way. Until we meet next week, I want to let you know that God is with you. We are also going to pray with you. Take it into prayer, whatever situation that you are in, and our God will be with you. Stay blessed and stay safe. The same time next week, make a date with us on Family Life. All the best.